Are you able to see screen, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, wonderful. So welcome to our Sunday Feast program. Very special month and a very special day. So this Karthik month is very special. One of the reasons is that when the moon passes through the different constellations, that's called as nakshatra, and one of the nakshatras called as a kritika. So when moon passes through that Kirtika, that is called as a Kartik month. But for us, as a follower of Srila Prabhupada, so the special of this month is that the Damodara pastime was actually happened during this month. So it's very important and very special month for all of us. So Lord Krishna, when he comes on this material planet, he does very wonderful, very sweet pastimes so that he can attract the hearts and the minds of all the living entities. And when he was a small child, he was particularly performing very sweet pastimes. And this sweet pastimes, especially with the adults of the Vrajavasis, the adults of the Vrajavasis. And the speciality of these pastimes were that Krishna and along with the Vrajavasis, they were enjoying so nicely, so beautifully. So, however, Krishna wanted very special affections from Mother Yashoda in the form of chastisement. And this form of chastisement is actually a part of the parental affection, the Vatsalya rasa. Krishna has a different rasas and he's the storehouse of all the rasas, but especially Vatsalya rasa when he's actually doing the pastimes with the Brajavasis and especially the Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Sanatan Goswami writes that this Vatsalya rasa is not complete without chastisement. And that is where Lord Krishna wanted to have a special affection, very special affections from Mother Yashoda in the form of chastisement. So what did he do? Any comments? Okay, yes, Prabhu. So what did he do? In the 8th chapter, just before this Damodar pastime, Sukadeva Goswami narrates the wonderful two things. Krishna wanted, somehow he wanted Mother Yashoda's chastisements in the form of affection. So what did he do? Along with Balaram, they would go to the neighborhood and they break into their houses and go to the storeroom and they steal the butter. Now the Supreme Lord here is stealing the butter here. And these all elderly gopis, they will come to Mother Yashoda and they will complain. But actually, this is not a complaint. It is they also love Krishna and there is affection, very special affections. And then they would actually come and tell to Mother Yashoda, Yashoda, you are this Ladla, he's coming and stealing our butter. And Mother Yashoda would say, okay, but you have so much of butter, why can't you give a little butter to him so that he will be satisfied? Then they would say that, no, he would not be satisfied and he would not take the butter that if we give. He wanted only the butter to be stolen and then only he would actually take the butter. And when we try to check his tendency to steal the butter, he would devise the different methods, different mechanisms. And that is where, so these gopis were actually coming, not complaining, but in fact, they were glorifying, appreciating Krishna's cleverness. And what would Mother Yashoda do? She would embrace Krishna and she would actually tell, she will say, okay, you should not do this again. And he'll say, okay, Maya, I will not do that. But Krishna was not satisfied with that. So what did he do? So again, the second pastimes, Sukadeva Goswami says that he wanted special attractions. So one day he was playing along with the Gopas and even Balaram was there and he ate dirt. And all the cowherd friends and Balaram, they came running to Mother Yashoda. Maya, Mother Yashoda, you know what happened today? Today Krishna ate dirt. And Krishna came running, Mother Yashoda came running and Mother Yashoda said, Krishna, did you eat dirt? Krishna said, you know, Maya, all these Gopas, they are liars. I did not eat dirt. But if you don't believe, you can look inside my mouth. And Mother Yashoda said, okay. So she kept Krishna on her lap and she looked inside her mouth. And you know what? She was surprised to see what inside the mouth. Not she did not find the dirt, but she found the whole universe inside that. All the skies, the planet, all the living entities. And Mother Yashoda was actually going through the different emotions, going through the emotions. Who is this? Is my son, or he's a different person? If he's my son, how can I see the universe inside in his mouth? And if he's not my son, and he's my son, then how can I see that? So she was going through all these emotions. Finally, she said, okay, whoever he is, he's hungry, let me feed him. And that is where Krishna was again not satisfied, because he wanted a chastisement from Mother Yashoda. So Sukadeva Goswami narrates the pastimes of these special pastimes in the chapter 9 and 10 of the canto 10, part 1. So Mother Yashoda was thinking, this Krishna, my Ladla, he's going to the neighbors and stealing the butter. So that means he's not satisfied the butter that is made by my maidservant. And today, for his satisfaction, I will personally make the butter, and so that he would satisfied and he would not go to the neighborhood and steal the butter. And today, so she gave the holiday for all her maid servants. And Mother Yashoda is expert. She's not only the expert in cooking, but she's expert that Nanda Maharaj had 900,000. They had 9 lakhs cows. And she knew that there are very special cows. There are 8 to 9 cows are very special cows. And if you give very special flavored grass to those cows, and then she can milk very flavored milk. And from that milk, she can make the yogurt, and from yogurt, she can make the butter. So Mother Yashoda started that activity today. And that day, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that, quoting Sanatan Goswami, that this day was actually Diwali day. So it's very apt, very appropriate that today we are hearing this pastime exactly on the same day, 5,000 years ago, this pastime happened on the Diwali day. So morning, Mother Yashoda very excited. So previous days she fed the very flavored grass to all the cows, all the special cows, and then she milk. So she had a very flavored milk, and so some of the milk she put on the stove so that she can make the milk sweet, and some of the milk she made the yogurt, and from that yogurt she now started making the butter. And as you know that in the ancient days, they would make the butter from the yogurt in that churning rod. So Mother Yashoda was completely absorbed. She was very happy that she wanted to please Krishna. And so now she started churning the butter, churning the yogurt. And she was spontaneously singing the glories of Krishna. That time Krishna was already 3+ year old, and he has done wonderful activities. And so Mother Yashoda was spontaneously composing the songs out of love, and she was singing those songs. And Mother Yashoda did not need any song book to refer any, because she was on the platform of Prema, and she was spontaneously composing the song. So in earlier days, you can remember in even sometime ago, in a villages, people, the ladies, when they are grinding something, they would sing. And I remember during the movie that I was watching, Santa Tukaram movie, and I heard that when Santa Tukaram was actually composing the Abhangas, and it spread all over the villages. And when it spread all over the villages, the ladies, when they are grinding, they would actually sing the bhajan. So this Vedic culture was very prevalent. But somehow in the due course of the time, it is actually getting diminished. But Mother Yashoda here, very spontaneously singing the glories of Krishna. And when she was singing the glories, the bangles, as she was moving to and fro, the bangles were actually creating very sweet sound, as if Mother Yashoda is singing, and the bangles are like kartal, and Mother Yashoda single-handedly was like a band here. So we can understand that Mother Yashoda's mind was completely absorbed in pleasing Krishna. Her body was engaged in the activities that will be pleasing Krishna. and her words were glorifying Krishna. So wonderful that inspiration for all of us devotees and as practicing devotees and as grahasthas, that how we can utilize all our senses and the mind in the service of Krishna. In the Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami says that there are 64 atoms of the devotional service, and quoting from the Sanatan Goswami's Hari Bhakti Vilas. And these 64 atoms are on the principle that we should engage all our body, our mind, and words in the service of Krishna. Similarly, here, Mother Yashoda completely absorbed in the service of Krishna. And then what happens? That is where the story begins. The drama begins now. Now, Krishna, so Mother Yashoda was doing all those things when Krishna was sleeping. So because she wanted that she can utilize this time. And as Krishna got up, as mother knows that when the baby actually gets up, the first thing that he wants, that he's hungry. So now Krishna did not speak anything, and Sukadeva Goswami also did not mention anything. So he comes there where Mother Yashoda is churning the yogurt, and then suddenly what he did, he hold the churning rod there. He did not speak anything. Mother Yashoda laughed very intelligently, because understanding the intelligence of Krishna, because Krishna is hungry here and he wanted Mother Yashoda to feed him. So Mother Yashoda immediately understood the cleverness. She smiled there and immediately she stopped, and she took Krishna on her lap, keeping her hand. You can see that beautiful picture there, keeping her hand behind that, and Mother Yashoda, Krishna looking at eyes of Mother Yashoda, Mother Yashoda looking at eyes of Krishna. So sweet exchange of love there. And as when Mother Yashoda was seeing that the smile of Krishna, her happiness was increasing. And when Krishna would actually see Mother Yashoda is laughing, smiling, and her happiness would increase. So like this, devotees would actually try to give pleasure to Krishna, and Krishna will try to give pleasure to his devotees, and devotee would try to give pleasure to Krishna. And so like this, it is a transcendental competition between Krishna and his devotees. So beautiful, Mother Yashoda and Krishna doing exchanges of love. And that time, finally, Mother Yashoda kept Krishna on her, lap, and start feeding them. And as she was feeding, through corner of her eyes, she saw that the milk she has put on the stove, it was actually overboiling, because she had prepared that milk boiling for making some milk sweet. Now here, she was actually feeding Krishna. Krishna was not completely satisfied. He was still hungry, but now she utilized her intelligence. And the intelligence was that, or the rationale here is that milk is also from the very special flavored the cows who had eaten the very special grass. So that if that milk is actually spoiled, she will not be able to make the sweet milk sweet for Krishna, and that will actually go. But at the same time, now Krishna is hungry here, so she used her rationale, so that she thought that, okay, I will keep Krishna down, I will go and I will take care of that milk, and then come back and I will continue to feed Krishna. So similarly, in a life of devotees, there will be more than one activities to please Krishna, and the purpose is same. Prabhupada gives that why did Mother Yashoda leave Krishna unsatisfied and hungry? Because there will be at a times there will be activities, more than one activities that one has to do. And then how do we decide which activity has to be done first? And Prabhupada gives the in commentary that tesham sadatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. So Krishna gives the intelligence within, and with that intelligence we'll be able to understand what should be done first and what should not be done, or what should be done in second. So Mother Yashoda, keeping Krishna aside, went to take care of the milk, so that she can prepare the milk sweet and give to Krishna. So it is all for the pleasure of Krishna, nothing less or other than pleasing Krishna. So, but here, when Krishna, Mother Yashoda kept Krishna aside, Krishna became very angry. He started biting his lips through the teeth. So he became very angry, and now the Krishna who is the Supreme Lord and who is always beyond the Shuddha mode, and he's actually now exhibiting the anger, and of course it's a transcendental anger. So what did he do? He took a stone and broke the part of that yogurt pot, and then he actually went away. So now when Mother Yashoda came and she saw that the pot was broken. Krishna was absent there. Again, she utilized her intelligence, rational here, that the pot is broken, Krishna is absent. That means it would have done by Krishna. And meanwhile, what did Krishna do? After that, after breaking the pot, so he went to the storehouse. There was a butter which was made yesterday, freshly made yesterday. So he took that. Not only that, he took the whole jar or the pot. He went outside to the courtyard towards the gate, and then he put the grinding mortar upside down, and he was actually sitting there and eating the butter and feeding to the monkeys. Now here comes Mother Yashoda. When she saw that Krishna has done, when she utilized her rational and she found that it was a Krishna who had done that, so see now how to trace Krishna. So there was a footprints of Krishna's in the yogurt, and she traced that footprints, and it was actually going to the storehouse. And when she went to the storehouse, Krishna was not there. Now she became angry here. Now, how can Mother Yashoda become angry here? Because Mother Yashoda cannot do anything that is not pleasing to Krishna. But here, Krishna is invoking those emotions so that he can get the special affection, special favor from Mother Yashoda in the form of chastisement. So Mother Yashoda now got angry here. Now taking the stick, and she saw outside in the courtyard that Krishna was actually standing on the grinding mortar, sitting on the grinding mortar and eating all the butter. And he already broke the yogurt pot that she was actually making that. So very silently sneaking into that, Mother Yashoda having the stick inside that. And that time, Krishna was very anxious. As you know that when the small kids, when they do any activities, which is, they know that the mother would not like. So what they will feel very anxious. They know that any time mother would come and scold them. So like this, Krishna was very anxious, and through his eyes, he was looking here and there, knowing that Mother Yashoda would come at any point of time, and she would actually catch him and scold him. So here, Krishna, having seen Mother Yashoda coming towards him and having a stick in her hand, Krishna started running. And now Mother Yashoda saw that. Now Mother Yashoda started chasing him and wanted to catch Krishna. Now, can anyone catch the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna? No, it is not possible unless he wanted him to caught by that person. First time, Sukadeva Goswami tells that the exalted position of Mother Yashoda here. Seeing that even she is ordinary, and in a sense that ordinary woman, not a yogi or not a Gyani, but she is now going to catch Krishna. In fact, because thinking that the Krishna is she did not care who Krishna is, or she did not even want to know who Krishna is, because they were completely over the Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and all the Brajavasis. They were completely overwhelmed by the affection of parental love. And so they did not want to know. They were not cared to know who Krishna is. So this is the completely the mood of Mother Yashoda towards Krishna. Similar pastimes actually happens in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Mother Sachi towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his sannyasa initiation and he wanted to go to Vrindavan, but instead of going to Vrindavan, somehow he lands in Shantipur. And when he landed to Shantipur, all the Navadvip residents, all the inhabitants of the Navadvip, they came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all of them came. Mother Sachi also came there. And when Mother Sachi came, and so during the daytime, the exchanges between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya would, but at the night time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance and Advaita Acharya would actually perform the kirtan. So during that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would exhibit the transcendental ecstasy. Suddenly he will become like a stunned stamba. Suddenly he would actually cry. Suddenly he would actually, his voice will falter. Suddenly the ashrus will start coming. And in that transcendental ecstasy, he would actually fall down. And when Mother Yashoda, when Mother Sachi would see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she would actually feel, she would start crying, alas. So she would pray to Lord Vishnu that whatever austerities I have done since my childhood, please, on the strength of those austerities, please uh, take care of my child here, my son Chaitanya, or the new Chaitanya or Nimai, so that when he actually fell on the ground, he should not feel the pain. So you can see here exactly the same emotions of the overwhelmed emotions of motherly, that they don't know that he is a supreme personality of Godhead. So here, Mother Yashoda running behind Krishna, having stick in her hand, and she's not able to catch. Sukadeva Goswami actually narrates that because of her heavy hips, she's not able to catch. But finally, she succeeds, and then she catches. Now Krishna, when he was caught by Mother Yashoda, he's trembling, completely afraid of Mother Yashoda, thinking that now she will scold him. And here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually gives a very beautiful exchanges. Mother Yashoda starts chastising. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that as soon as Mother Yashoda caught him and he starts crying, and from Damodara Ashtakam we know that Rudanta Muhur Netram Yugmam Rujantam Karamboja Yugmena Satankanetram Muhu Shwasa Patri Rekanka Kantam Stita Graiva Damodaram Bhakti Badam. So when Krishna saw Mother Yashoda, he was completely, he's shaking, his body was trembling, he was actually crying, and Mother Yashoda caught Krishna by right hand, and with his left hand, he was actually rubbing all his ashrus. And when he was rubbing the ashrus, the ointment, the kajal was actually going all over that face, and with that, Krishna's beauty was again enhanced. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually gives that as soon as Mother Yashoda caught Krishna, she said that you have such a restless nature. Oh, friend of the monkeys, the pot broker, where will you get the butter today? Now I shall bind you so that you cannot steal the butter and eat it with your friends. Are you afraid that I will beat you with this stick? With this, while rebuking Krishna, Mother Yashoda lifted the stick as if to beat him. But Mother Yashoda would not do like this. So what did she do? Krishna pleaded, Maya, Maya, please don't beat me. And Yashoda said, if you don't like getting beaten, then why did you break the pot today? Not only once, even the past also you did the similar mischievous activities. Krishna said, Maya, please, I won't do that anymore, but throw down that stick. And here Mother Yashoda, now thinking that he's already afraid. And if he goes in the fear that he may go to the forest, and then the forest there are creatures, the animals, and because of that fear, Mother Yashoda thought, I would bind him today. So she started binding Krishna. Now when she started binding Krishna, so what did she do? She got the rope from inside the house, and she wanted to bind Krishna to the grinding mortar. And first time when she tried, it was actually short. Mother Yashoda was actually astonished, amazed that the rope was even almost, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it was almost 100 feet, and Krishna's waist is very small. But how is that she is not able to bind Krishna? Acharyas tell that, how is that with this material rope one can bind that the universe, when in his mouth, when Mother Yashoda actually saw the whole universe, how can with this material element that one can bind this whole universe? It is not possible. So Mother Yashoda found that the rope was short by the 2 fingers. So what did she do? She again utilized her rational. She went inside the house and got another rope. So then what happened when she was binding? Same thing happened. Again, the rope was short by the 2 fingers. Now, Mother Yashoda was actually surprised here. Again, second time. So when the rope, she got the rope is actually now more than that. And neither the rope increased nor his waist actually shortened. Then still she is not able to bind Krishna. And that is the astonishing nature of the vibhuti of Krishna. So now again she went inside, and again she got another rope, and again the same thing happened. The rope was short. Like this she went and she got all the rope inside the house, but still she was not able to catch Krishna. And again the rope was short by 2 fingers. Mother Yashoda was astonished, because if all these ropes, she would have covered the distance, but still the rope was short by not 3 fingers, but not 4 fingers, but exactly by the 2 fingers. And when Mother Yashoda was perspiring all those things, all these elderly gopis were watching all these things, and they were smiling and they were laughing. And then they said, don't you understand that it is not meant to happen that? This morning, when you are trying to bind a string around Krishna's waist, it was so easily you could do, but today, now, you are not able to bind with that. That means it is not meant to bind Krishna. Mother Yashoda said, if I don't bind him, as he grow, he may continue with this habit, again overwhelmed the affections, the paternal affections, the Vasalya rasa, and thinking that he's a prakruta shishu. Prakruta shishu means the child, prakruta means the material. As an ordinary child, she's thinking that if I don't train him properly, as he grow up, he may become a thief, and then I will be failed in my duty as a mother. So I must bind him. So seeing that the persistent nature of Mother Yashoda, she was completely perspiring, and Krishna saw that, and finally he withdrawn that potency which was not allowing Mother Yashoda to bind, and he bestowed the potency that is called the Krupa Shakti. With that Krupa Shakti, finally Mother Yashoda could bind Krishna. And Acharya, especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, tells what is the significance of these 2 fingers. So he says that as a devotee, we must have the two things in our life. First is that our effort to do spiritual activities, and without Krishna's mercy, nothing can actually happen. So these 2 fingers actually signifies that our effort as well as Krishna's mercy. So in the nectar of devotion, we can see that the power of devotee, the power of devotion, and there are 6 characteristics. Rupa Goswami actually talks that, and the last is that Krishnakarshini. With this devotion, one can actually bind Krishna, one can control Krishna. So here we can understand the exalted position of Mother Yashoda. She has bound the Supreme Lord, who is a Jagadishwara. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Maya Adhekshana Prakrute Suhete Sachara Charan Hetu Nanena Kaunte Jagadvi Parivartate. This Jagadishwara, who can control the whole universe, this whole cosmos, now is controlled by his mother Yashoda here. Yogeshwara, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdara, Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matirma, the last stroke of Bhagavad Gita, 18.17. The master of all the mysticism, he couldn't hide, he couldn't get escape from Mother Yashoda, he couldn't escape himself, but finally Mother Yashoda could caught him. Yameshwara, the fear personified, the death personified, the master of that Yama, the Yameshwara, he was afraid of Mother Yashoda when having the stick in her hand. That Yameshwara was bound by Mother Yashoda. And the Gokuleshwara, the master of the Gokula, was bound here by Mother Yashoda. Can you imagine the exalted position of Mother Yashoda? The whole pastimes is only for 21 to 22 shlokas in this 9th chapter of 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And out of that, at least 4 to 5 shlokas, Sukadeva Goswami gives the gives the narrations about the Mother Yashoda's exalted position. So earlier he said that not the yogis nor the mystics can catch Krishna, but here Mother Yashoda, thinking Krishna as an ordinary small child, tried to bind Krishna. Now here we can see that if somebody wants to bind Krishna, who is if something unlimited, can someone bind unlimited with something limited? So Sukadeva Goswami actually gives that how Krishna has no beginning, no end, who has no exterior, no interior, who has no front, no end, who has there is no difference because he's beyond the time, so there is no difference for him, past, present, and the future. And for him, there is no, at the same time, he's the cause of everything, and at the same time, he's beyond the cause and the effect of that. Such a personality, there is all the contradictions are resolved within Krishna. In Narsimha Tapani Upanishad, it is mentioned that Krishna is a Turiam, Krishna is a Turiam. Turiam means he's inconceivable, and he's at the same time he's a conceivable. Atmanam, Anatmanam, he's a spiritual, at the same time he's a non-spiritual. Non-spiritual means material. So what is that? Krishna is a material. Krishna's energies are material. Krishna is a Ugram, Ugram Viram Mahavishnu. Krishna is a Ugram, at the same time Krishna is an Anugram. That means he's a very fierce, and at the same time he's very gentle. Krishna is a Viram, at the same time he's a Viram, courageous, and the coward. Coward in a sense, in the material sense, or in the pastime sense, when he's running from Mother Yashoda, thinking that she will actually scold him. So he's the source of all these opposites. And the same Krishna was bound by here Mother Yashoda. Acharyas tell, how is it possible that Mother Yashoda could bind Krishna? And they tell that it is the uncommonly motherly affection, that with that affection, the prema, the love that Krishna was, though Krishna is all powerful, he has all inconceivable energy, but he allows himself to be controlled by love and bound by his beloved. So beautiful, so sweet pastime between Krishna and Krishna's beloved devotees. So from the Vedic perspective, we can understand that the absolute truth, Janmadhyascha Yata, it is the source of everything. There is whatever is there, it is coming from that absolute truth, Param Satya. And Sukadeva, Vyasadeva actually reveals that absolute truth is none than Krishna himself here. So all these opposites, he has a beginning, and there is no beginning, no end, but the same Lord can be bound by Krishna, bound by his devotees. He's the same time he's a Viram, same time he's a Viram, same time he's Ugram, same time he's Anugram. So all these contradictions are harmonized within Krishna. How? Through his energies. So whenever that energies are exhibited, some pastimes are actually, or some characteristics are exhibited, and when the energies are withdrawn, then some other pastimes or some other characteristics are exhibited. So this is the absolute truth, which is the source of all this. If he's not the source of all that is possible, inconceivable, and conceivable, then he cannot be absolute truth. But we understand from the Srimad Bhagavatam reveals that absolute truth, the Param Satya, the Vasudeva, is the source of everything. He is the source of all these opposites, and he is the source of all which is possible, which is not possible. We can understand by his very nature, Krishna is satisfied, but he suffers from hunger. And yet sometimes he's dissatisfied, desirous of prema. So he is the source of all these opposites, and the same absolute truth now here is bound by Mother Yashoda. So sweet pastimes between Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Now these pastimes, now Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and then Mother Yashoda goes her housecore activities, and at the same time Krishna observes the two Yamala Arjuna trees there. And Sukadeva Goswami says that these two trees were in the formerly life, they were the sons of Kuvera. They were the Nalakuvera and Manigriva. and they were cursed by Narada. Now, immediately, as soon as Parikshit Maharaj hears that, then he says that, wait a minute, wait a minute. Then he asks the question. He's very alert. Can you imagine that now he's almost the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and for the whole 7 days and 7 nights he was hearing, but we can imagine that he could be in the 6th day, not even one moment that he was actually taking rest, very alert and completely absorbed in the pastime, in the hearing of Krishna's pastime. And almost on the 6th day, he's alert and hearing. As soon as the Sukadeva Goswami said that he was cursed by Devarsi Narada, then he asked, can you please narrate me, why did Devarsi Narada curse these sons of Kuvera, that is Nalakuvera and Manigriva? One devotee tells a story that one neophyte, or the beginners or newcomers, he started coming to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. And eventually he became very regular. And the reason being, and the devotees were very curious to know that as a newcomer, somebody becomes very addicted to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And then when was asked him, so why did he become so addicted and so nourishing the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam? He said, you know what happens? As soon as I come to Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm suffering from insomnia. Insomnia means that I don't get sleep. But as soon as I come to Srimad Bhagavatam class, I get such a deep and profound sleep. That is why I'm coming every day. But here, Parikshit Maharaj, on the 6th day, not even slept for a moment, did not eat, did not drink, continuously in a rapt attention, hearing the pastimes of Krishna. And as soon as Sukadeva Goswami said that they were cursed, he asked question, please tell me that why did Narada curse the sons of Kuvera? And then Sukadeva Goswami now focuses the spotlight on the sons of the Kuvera. So he tells that the Kuvera sons, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were elevated. They were very proud of being the son of Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets. So they were elevated to the association of the Lord Shiva. And because of that, they were allowed to wander in the gardens of the Kailasa on the bank of Mandakini. And because of that, they were misusing, and they were always on the influence of the intoxication and doing all these other things, which any sane person or the gentleman would not do that. But because of all their pride, because of the intoxications, he was engaged in all these these two sons of the Kuvera, they were actually engaged in these activities. So here is very important point that, so now then one day what happened, that they thought that now we will enhance our sense gratification by going into the river, Mandakini or Ganges. So Srila Prabhupada gives very wonderful things that sometimes we think that if we change the, we change the variations in our sense enjoyment, probably we can get the much more pleasure from the sense enjoyment. But that is actually misconception. Here, the sons of the Kuvera, they thought that on the land, now they have enjoyed a lot. Now let's go inside the river of the Ganges, I mean the river in the Mandakini river, and let's have some more fun. So when they were having on that particular day, they were naked completely. They were completely intoxicated. Their eyes were actually rolling, and along with them were the girls or the daughters of the other devatas there. So Prabhupada writes a beautiful point here, that not all the people that goes to the Ganga are having the intention of to get purified, or not all the people those goes in taking bath in the Ganges get purified here. Example of this Kuvera's sons, Nalakuvera and Manigriva. So because of their pride, because of the intoxications, and because of these opposite things, the sex, that was the reason of their fall down. And at that moment, Devarsi Narada actually appears on the scene. When Narada saw them, they were completely intoxicated, and this is the qualities of the saintly people. So, but let us see what happened to the daughters of the devatas. So immediately, as soon as they saw that, they were ashamed and they covered their body. But these two sons of Kuvera, they were completely intoxicated and they did not even bother. They did not care to cover their bodies, and they were completely standing naked in front of Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, the saintly people, they always think that how can I do, they always think of the shreyasa, ultimate benefit of these living entities. So similarly, as we hear from the conversation of Mother Devahoti and Kardamba Muni, it is said that titikshasva karunika surudam sarvadehi nam ajata shatra shanta sadhu sadhava sadhu bhushanam. Those are the qualities of the sadhu, saintly persons. They are Surudam Sarvadehinam. They are always the well-wisher of the living entities. So here Narada Muni, Devarsi Narada, when he saw the sons of the Kuvera, they were completely intoxicated. He did not get offended. He did not get offended. He was thinking that how can I do something that can actually benefit all these sons of Kuvera. And then, so Srila Prabhupada writes here that sometimes the devotees or the saintly persons they give some corrections when they see that these living entities are doing something wrong, or they deviating from the path of the spiritual things. So Srila Prabhupada actually quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and gives this analogy that sometimes we need a corrections, and that is why it is very important to have association of the devotees. And the devotee association, what happens if there is any deviations from the spiritual path, it actually get corrected. So here Devarsi Narada, who is actually now giving the analogy Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport that just sometimes when the son is actually sleeping, but the father wanted to give him the medicines. So what happens? He will pinch the son so that he will get up and he will take the medicine. So similarly, sometimes in our life, we may get some kind of corrections from the devotees, but we should understand that it is for our ultimate benefit, because that is the nature of the saintly people. They have only one thing that they can, that how can I be of benefit to these living entities? Surudam sarvadehinam, always having the auspicious nature and thinking that how can I be the benefit for these living entities. And so Narada, having seen that and thinking that how can I be benefit of that, how can I correct here the tendency of this material enjoyment, just like it is said that the disease, just like to correct the disease, the father actually gives the medicines. So similarly, the saintly person, to correct this disease of the material enjoyment, they give some medicines. So here the medicines come that after having seen the sons of the Kuvera, Narad Muni give the beautiful analogy. He understood that. He gave the beautiful Bhagavatam class to these two sons of Kuvera, that is Nalakuvera and Manigriva. And at the end of that, he actually gave a curse. The curse was that, okay, now you don't want to have the clothes, so then you want to be naked. Then I think that you have beautiful, you have the body which is suited to your desire. That is nothing but having the body of the tree, so that you become a tree. But at the same time, he gave it's a blessing in disguise. He said that when Lord Krishna would personally appear here, you become a tree in his courtyard, and Krishna would personally deliver both of you. And that is the nature of the living. That is the nature of the saintly person. So, but one point is very important, that unless we have compassion, we cannot curse other devotees, because we must have a compassion. And that is why we can understand our founder Acharya, our beloved founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Out of compassion, he would say that all the scientists, and he would say they are rascal number one, they are foolish number one. But we cannot imitate Srila Prabhupada and start saying to all the scientists and all the people that you are fool or rascal number. It is only the devotees who are on that platform who have compassion for the living entities. They only can do that. But the people like us who don't have the compassion, we cannot imitate Srila Prabhupada saying that you are fool or rascal number one. Only the person who have the compassion for the other living entities, they can actually curse the others. Why? Because in that curse, there will be blessing, so that it will be, there is always a ultimate benefit for those living entities. And again, Sukadeva Goswami now focus again back to the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where Krishna, seeing these two trees, Yamala Arjuna trees, and he takes his he takes his he was actually stuck to the grinding mortar, and he actually drags the grinding mortar between these two trees, stuck in between them, such a way that actually he will pull that two trees, and with a bigger force he actually pulled these two trees, and because of that these big two trees uprooted, and when they crashed it actually created a very big sound, and with that sound all the Brajavasis actually realized that something happened, and they started coming to here. So meanwhile what happened, the from these two trees this appear these divine personalities, which is nothing but the Nalakuvera and Manigriva. And when they appeared, the first thing that they offered the obeisances. We can see that when we offer a prayer to Krishna, what should be the elements of our prayer? So, and here the Nalakuvera and Manigriva actually showing through their examples that what should be the elements of our glorification. First thing that what they did, they offered obeisances. Second thing that they glorified Krishna, and the third thing that they sought the blessing from Krishna. So after offering the obeisances, these divine personalities, they glorified Krishna, invoking the absolute truth nature of Krishna, glorifying Krishna that you are the Supreme Lord, you are the controller of everything, you are the cause of all the causes, and you are the supreme knower, you are the omnipotent. And like this, after invoking the absolute truth nature of Lord Sri Krishna, they sought the blessings. So what blessing one should see from Krishna? Because sometimes the question, sometimes the jokingly devotee would ask that if Krishna appear on this in front of you, what would you ask? We have to be very careful what we ask from Krishna. Because if we ask something other than devotion to Krishna, we will get settled into that. If we ask money or anything other than devotion to Krishna, Krishna may give to us, but we may get settled in that, but we will miss the opportunity to ask something, the ultimate shreyas, ultimate benefit for all of us, and that is the love and devotion to Sri Krishna. So what did they ask? They did not ask, give me money or give me this. They said that, give your blessing so that may all our words describe your pastimes. Our vacha, our words should be engaged in the service of Krishna, glorifying Krishna. Give your blessing, oh my Lord, so that we engage our ears in hearing the pastimes of your glories. Give us a blessing so that my hands and the legs and my other senses are engaged in the service of you. Please give our blessing so that manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskar. Always I will think of you. We will think of you, your lotus feet. Please give your blessing so that we offer our obeisances to everything within this word, because all things are your different forms. And give your blessing so that through our eyes we can see the form of Vaishnava who are non-different from you. Again the emphasis on the devotee. Now after hearing all those things, Krishna tells a very beautiful shloka, 10.9.25. 10.9.25, he says, and that actually emphasizes that we have always a question that how can we receive the mercy of Krishna? And here is the shloka, you can go back and read that 10.9.25. Krishna said that I have nothing to do with these two people, but because my disciple, my devotee Narada has told me to go and deliver them, that is why I am coming here. So we can understand Gopi Bharaturpada Kamala Dasa 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 Anudas, that the mercy of Krishna comes through the devotee of Krishna, So this all the devotee that Krishna is going to bestow on this Nalakuvera and Manigriva, that it came through the mercy of his devotee, and that is Narada. And the Nalakuvera and Manigriva actually they said that we don't deserve, but because of your devotee mercy Narada, now we are actually becoming eligible to receive the mercy. And that is the beauty of the devotion. The beauty of the devotion that we can approach Krishna through his devotees. Now, having said that, after delivering, okay, I'll come back to this point again here before going to the next. So after delivering, so they circumambulated and they disappeared from the scene. And at the same time, the cowherd boys, they were watching all the scene. And suddenly when all the Brajavasis, when they heard this crashing sound, they appeared to the scene. And when they saw, they were completely astonished. What they saw, they couldn't even imagine that the huge, the humongous trees were actually uprooted, and the small child Krishna was actually between them. They were thinking, who did these things? And if somebody else has done, how come Krishna was actually escaped from this mishap? How come if somebody has not done, how come the small little Krishna can do these things? So they were not able to find, but at the same time, there were the small cowherd boys, and they were actually watching all those things, and they came running and they told all those things what had happened. They said, you know what happened? It is a Krishna who uprooted the trees, and when he uprooted the trees, the two divine personalities appeared from there, and these two divine personalities, when they appeared, as soon as they appeared, they offered the obeisances. This divine personality offered obeisances to the small child, and they glorified Krishna through some songs, and they circumambulated and they disappeared from the scene. When the cowherd boys told all those things, the Nanda Maharaj and all these Brajavasis couldn't believe this, because they were completely overwhelmed by the affection of the parental love, the Vasalya. They were thinking that Krishna is our small Krishna is our son or his son. He cannot do all those things. But they knew somewhere that Garga Muni has actually told, he forecasted that this small child will have power like Narayana. So they were consoling themselves, maybe that he has some power like Narayana, and they would have done like something like this. He would have done something like this. And they will console and they will say, oh, he's my small child, and they will continue. So here, Nanda Maharaj, now having seen that and consoling himself, so then he said, who bound Krishna? And they said, Mother Yashoda. Then Nanda Maharaj releases him from that binds, and then the pastimes actually ends there. And of course, Acharyas tell that what happens. Krishna was very angry, and he was not looking at Mother Yashoda for many days. And then Nanda Maharaj would ask Krishna, when Mother Yashoda would come this way, Krishna will turn his head the other direction. When Mother Yashoda would come that way, Krishna would actually turn his head the other direction. And Nanda Maharaj would ask Krishna, you don't want to talk to Mother Yashoda, then who will feed you? You say that my Baba, you will feed me. Then he would ask, who would actually take you bath? He said, you would make you bath. Who would actually take you to the bed? He will actually say that you would do that. So like this, the wonderful pastime between that. And after some days, Krishna was actually pacified. It is all transcendental pacified. And then the things actually moved, the pastimes continue. Now, so we heard the whole wonderful pastimes of Mother Yashoda binding Krishna. But we also know that there is a Radha Damodar. So did Srimati Radharani also bind Lord Krishna? Yes, actually she also bound Krishna. So Srila Jiva Goswami tells in his Priti Sandarbha Anuchet 367, quoting from Bhavishya Purana, and he tells, and of course also he also tells from Sri Radha Krishna Charana Dipika, the sloka on the screen. He says, Tasmin Dinecha Bhagavan Ratram Radha Griham Yayayu. So he says that Sacha Krudha Tam Udare, again Kanchi Damana Babandaha. So Mother Yashoda, Radha actually bound Krishna again. So Jiva Goswami from the Sri Radha Krishna Charana Dipika, quoting from 119 and 127 slokas, quoting from Bhavishya Purana, he tells the story actually. One day during this Karthika time, Krishna was very busy at his house along with mother, and he got very late to meet Yashoda, to meet the Radha. So when he reaches there, Radha is very upset and is very angry. And when Radha is very angry and upset, what she does, she actually bound Krishna by her waistband, and immediately she bind Krishna. And then Krishna actually tells her the whole story, what happened, because he said that, oh, because you know why I got late, there was wonderful festivities at home, and because of that I was engaged and I could come very late. And with that, Yashoda, Mother Radharani was actually pacified, and she releases Krishna. So that happened, and that is why it is also called as Radha Damodar. And we all of us know that there is a beautiful temple of Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan called as Radha Damodar. And to commemorate these pastimes of Radha binding Krishna throughout the whole Karthik month, along the waist of Radharani, there is a rope, and Radharani is trying to bind Krishna. So this whole month, this pastimes is commemorated in Radha Damodar Mandir. And this Radha Damodar Mandir is very, very, very special to all of us, because our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada actually stayed and prepared himself, worshipped Srila Rupa Goswami before going to the United States of America. He used to worship, he used to pray, he used to cry in front of Rupa Goswami every day night, saying that please give your blessing and mercy so that I will be able to execute the instruction given by spiritual master. And that Radha Damodar temple is very, very special for all the followers of Srila Prabhupada. And that Radha Damodar. So not only Yashoda Nandan Damodara, but there is also pastimes of Radharani binding Krishna, and that happened. And Krishna was very much pleased with that. And he says that by chanting the name of Damodara, one will get the rarest form of the devotional service. And he says, because this is the eternal pastimes, and he actually tells to Radharani that in the near future, Mother Yashoda will bind me to the grinding mortar, and that name Damodara will be manifest in the material world. So before it actually manifested in the eternal world, Mother Radharani binding Krishna is already manifested, and that name Damodar, Krishna says that is very dear to him. And whoever chants the name of Damodar, he actually get the rarest form of devotion, which is the Yashoda Nandan Damodar and Radha Damodar. So what is so special that this whole pastime is celebrated for the whole month? Can you imagine the whole Karthik month? We are celebrating this Radha, Krishna, Yashoda Mai binding Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami actually gives the glimpse in a very initial shloka, 6th or 7th shloka, 13th, 14th shloka, and from 19, 20, 21 shlokas in this 9th chapter, the exalted position of Lord Mother Yashoda. We all know that Krishna is the completely independent, supreme controller, but he becomes controlled by the prema of his devotees. And then Sukadeva Goswami narrates, gives the exalted, super exalted position of Mother Yashoda. He says that the mystics, the yogis cannot capture, they cannot catch Krishna, but here Mother Yashoda caught Krishna. No one could bind Krishna, but Mother Yashoda could bind Krishna. And not only that, he gives very big statement in the 15th shloka, that he says that the mercy that Mother Yashoda actually got, even Viranchi, Lord Brahma, Bhava, Lord Shiva, and the goddess of fortune wouldn't get, but Mother Yashoda was the recipient of such mercy. Can we imagine the fortune of Mother Yashoda? Can we imagine the greatness, the super exalted position of Mother Yashoda being the mother of Lord Sri Krishna and binding Sri Krishna here? And that is why for the follower of Srila Prabhupada, follower of Rupa Goswami, this pastime is so wonderful that it is celebrated for the whole 1 month. Can we imagine what kind of fortune that our dear most founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, has bestowed upon all of us? We cannot imagine without Srila Prabhupada's mercy that how many of us would have the access to such a wonderful pastimes, and having the access to hear the glories of the super exalted devotee like Mother Yashoda. No way to get the opportunity to hear such exalted pastimes. We are eternally indebted to Srila Prabhupada. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have this opportunity. And that is why the devotees are so merciful. They give us opportunity that we always remain in the service of Krishna. So with that, Yashoda Nandan Damodhar ki jai, Radha Damodhar ki jai. We'll stop here and see if any discussions or any questions there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Vijayalakshmi Prabhu wants to speak something. Vijayalakshmi Prabhu, if you want to speak something, you can go ahead.
No, Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. So we didn't compile the announcements today. But anyways, like we have Swad Utsavas in our Gita course today evening. That is happening, and then we have somebody saying like wonderful narration. It's really, really very wonderful, amazingly relishable pastime. Yugala Kishor Prabhu narrated today, and it was really amazing. And we have Swad Utsav. Yugala Kishor Prabhu, you are also doing Swad Utsav Prabhu in your Gita course.
No, we are just hearing again the similar pastimes, same pastimes in the evening with the Gita course, along with Achyuta Arjun Prabhu will be doing it sometime.
Oh, nice. So in other two locations, they are doing Sadhutsav.
Okay.
And tomorrow it's Govardhan Govardhan Lila day and Govardhan Puja day and Go Puja day. So we are going to temple. So we are inviting devotees also. If anyone is interested, we can try to come with safety precautions that we can go and celebrate the Govardhan Puja and Go Puja in the temple. And also we have after that we have Prabhupada's disappearance day. So we will have a special class on the morning, and then Bhoga offering to Srila Prabhupada. So again, devotees can connect virtually for that. So that's what is there in this week for us. Yugala Kishor Prabhu and Sudhir Gopal Prabhu, if you have anything else to mention, you can also mention in this.
No, I think I'd like to thank Yugala Kishor Prabhuji for his wonderful narration. It was really nice. He really brought the nectar from so many places and really delivered it beautifully. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Really grateful to you. Especially this couple of days are really, really nectar. Like yes, today is we Vaishnava calendar perspective, we celebrated Deepavali and coming of Lord Ram into our heart. And of course, like as Prabhu said, tomorrow is Govardhan Puja, and we are discussing yesterday also that two of you Prabhupada's prominent disciples left over the last 2 days. One is His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Govind Maharaj. He was preaching in US. He was the first university uh, like preacher. Actually, he was doing nicely in San Francisco. Then he came to India, and then he was basically in Punjabi Bagh in Delhi. So we like a couple of weeks back he was not well, and then suddenly he left. And so we really pray at his lotus feet that so we can also get a drop of the faith and love and devotion that he had with Prabhupada, so that we can also get a drop of that. And then we had also one more Mataji, Krishna Nandini Mataji. So she was a chairwoman of Vaishnava Grihastha Vision Team, GVT, they said. So she was looking for wonderful focus on how we can really have a stable material life. So you used to always say that strong families means strong ISKCON. So how we should have a stable material life. So happy devotee is the best preacher, right? So how we should really practice our Krishna consciousness in a grihastha life in a nice way, so that others can learn and get inspired. So we are really thankful to all these devotees who have really set up these beautiful examples with their life and also with their teachings. Mataji also has written nice books, so you can really take advantage of them and really be grateful to them whatever they have given to them. So let's pray once again at the lotus feet of Manigriva Giridhari Mahaprabhu. So they always keep these devotees under their shelter, and also we get some mercy, drop of mercy, so that we also get some bhakti, like what they had, how they had served Srila Prabhupada. So let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for these devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yeah, and as Prabhuji said, like Prabhupada's disappearance day is there on Wednesday, I believe. So I think we can remember Prabhupada once again. Of course, we'll have a program, so maybe devotees can join virtually as well. But yeah, like usually these days, like this couple of days, we really come together and celebrate nicely. We really take our heart out and by praying and by serving the Lord and His devotees. But yeah, unfortunately, still we are physically distanced. But yeah, let's try to be socially and spiritually closer, digitally, spiritually. Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji. So it was really nice. Thank you. Now we go to Bhakti Center for National Pranam.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Shilatankanakalaye Shilatankanakalaye Hito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Hito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimha Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamala Bhare Nakam Adbhuta Shrindam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubenga Keshavadrita Naraharirupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Bhare Adhuta Shrindam Hiranyakashipu Tanubenga Keshavadrita Naraharirupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Lakshmi Narasimha Jai Ananta Dev 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 Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Shri Bhakti Vigna Vinashaka Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai Bhakti Shiromani Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining for this Sunday program. I hope all of you had a very nice Diwali and a very healthy Krishna conscious mood and atmosphere at your place, and wish you all the best for the rest of the Karthik month also, and for all the wonderful programs that is there. And please take part in the evening programs also. That will be very, very nice. So every day we are having many devotees joining for this evening program at 8:15. So with this we will close our Sunday program. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Kartik Mantrata ki jai.